Hey guys, how you doing? It's 8-Bit Eric, and it is the Nintendo Switch's 4th birthday. Now, I'm not going to do some fancy, schmancy edited video here with some cuts and some footage and stuff. We're just going to do a little discussion. So I'd like to hear what you guys have to say in response to what I do or whatever. So let's hear some comments down below. Now, the Switch, when it first came out, I was absolutely hyped. I remember hearing about Project NX. Remember when it was being referred to as the NX, and there was so much speculation as to what the next Nintendo console was going to be. But there was always that suspicion that it was going to be a hybrid. Almost every single mock-up or fake, report or leak that we saw was always some kind of tablet with a type of like way to play with like a touchscreen and stuff. And these actual reports were somewhat halfway correct. We didn't think that it would be a dockable system that can go from being docked on the TV to playing portable. It was kind of like a more improved version of the Wii U. Now, back then, before the Switch came out, a lot of people gave up on Nintendo. They really didn't care about the Wii U. I honestly was like one of few people covering Wii U games, playing Nintendo Wii U, and basically just being a part of it. In fact, it was so much easier to be in the Nintendo Ambassador program back then because nobody was covering Nintendo. I was like one of few. So when the Switch initially came out, I was one of the first people to be in the Nintendo Ambassador program, and I got access to early Nintendo Switch games, like the Mario Odysseys, the Mario Karts, the Minecrafts, the ARMS, and several different games were sent to me. But then when the Switch just exploded and everybody loved it, and we got all these bigger and better YouTubers come out and cover it, I kind of got lost down in the shuffle. But I've never given up on covering Nintendo Switch games, whether it's a indie title that is obscure, that is a hidden gem, or a Switch title that is kind of like shovelware, or some good third-party or first-party games. A lot of my content since I've started, since 2010-ish, has been Nintendo dedicated, and I will always have a soft spot for Nintendo on this channel. The Switch made a lot of growth and a lot of changes, not just for my channel, but for a lot of people that cover video games. And honestly, it is one of my most favorite systems of all time. Is it the most powerful? No, it's not. It's not one of the most powerful consoles ever. But as far as a variety of library goes, it is amazing. I mean, if you sit down and think, there's one console out there that can play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario Odyssey, Mario Galaxy, Mario Sunshine, Mario 64, Mario 3D World, Mario and Rabbids, Skyrim. It can play The Witcher 3. It can play LA Noire. It can play Minecraft. It can play Doom, Wolfenstein. The list goes on and on. It is a huge library of games. And then on top of that, we're getting newer titles. Control. We got Resident Evil 7. We are getting, Hitman. There's all sorts of games coming out. Skyward Sword. If you look at the library of games alone on the Nintendo Switch, it's pretty awesome. And it's all able to be played portably. Then you got some of the greatest indies ever made. Stardew Valley, Celeste, Shovel Knight, Cuphead, you name it. Some of the greatest indies out there. So the library on the Nintendo Switch, I would venture to say, is probably the strongest video game library on any Nintendo console to date. Sure, we would like, the heavy hitters, the Call of Duties, the Maddens, the MLB, the shows. We would like real hard-hitting HD games. But for what it is, 4 years down the line, Nintendo's been crushing it. There are over 80 million consoles sold. I think they will easily surpass the most sold consoles of any kind of Nintendo console. I think they will easily break their own records. It's the midway point for the console. So I don't see Nintendo breaking the Switch brand. I see Nintendo sticking with the Nintendo Switch as long as possible. With that said, I do think the rumors of the Switch Pro are 100% true. Sure, it hasn't been confirmed, but I think in order to compete with and stay to the level of the PS5 or the Xbox Series X, Nintendo needs to do an upgrade with their Switch model. They need to have a more powerful Nintendo Switch that's able to run faster, has a better processor, has better native graphics, has better features. For the love of God, do something to the Joy-Cons so we don't have Joy-Con drift. And we would be able to get better third-party games. The games would run a lot better. I think we're going to have something. I think Nintendo needs to do something because the Nintendo Switch is quickly becoming obsolete in the grander scheme of things, I would feel. With that said, though, we've had some pretty good games this last year. We've had Animal Crossing, we've had Paper Mario, we've had Age of Calamity, we've had the Mario ports, we're getting Skyward Sword coming up. They're doing pretty good. They're crushing. If you look at the video game sales, honestly, they're doing so well that I think that's the reason why Nintendo is going to stick with the Switch for quite some time. Just taking a look at how even Age of Calamity has sold, how 3D World has sold, how 3D All-Stars and Animal Crossing, those games alone brought so many video game sales to Nintendo that them even having the slow release drop of titles is fine. Nintendo is not in trouble at all. The days of the Wii U are gone. I feel the Wii U had to fail in order for the Switch to succeed. And honestly, the Switch is just so much fun to this day. Being able to, give your friend a Joy-Con or take your thing on the go and play it in the car and things like that. I'm just overall happy to see Nintendo in a better place 4 years later. At the end of the Wii U cycle, those were the dark days, guys, when the 3DS was getting better first-party exclusives like Kid Icarus and Zelda games and Metroid games and stuff like that. I remember those days where I was like, why aren't they putting these games on the Wii U? Because the 3DS was literally outselling the Wii U at the time. So it is 4 years, and my God, has it flown by. We've made a lot of Nintendo Switch memories just alone on this channel. And I will always be grateful for the Nintendo fan base. A lot of you guys might not be around anymore on this channel, but I would always forever be grateful for the people that have come to the channel for Nintendo Switch content, to watch my reviews, to watch my Let's Plays, my live streams of the Nintendo Switch footage. Forever grateful for you guys. This console was the little console that could. So I've had so many great memories. My top games for the Switch, obviously Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, Mario Rabbids, Skyrim, and I would probably say on top of that, let's throw 3D World, Edge of Calamity, Mario Kart, on top of that. I think that was like 8. Throw Minecraft, fuck it, Minecraft on the go, and it's not Minecraft on a phone. Sure enough. And then maybe, let's just throw an odd one out there. Let's say, fuck it, Animal Crossing. So yeah, there's so much to do with it. I know there's still a lot of people out there that don't have a Switch yet. I think right now is the best time to be a Switch owner with today's climate, with the pandemic, with the great amount of library. On top of the actual games and then the stuff in the eShop, we also have NES and SNES Switch Online games. So we got the best of everything, guys. You want to play A Link to the Past? Go for it. You want to play Skyward Sword? Go for it. You want to play Breath of the Wild? Go for it. As far as Zelda games going, we're just missing Ocarina, Majora, Twilight, and Wind Waker. And then we would probably have best of the best as far as the Zelda games go. But honestly, I love it. It's such a system. It's such good times. Is it kind of at its, peak? I don't know. I think the best is yet to come in regards to Nintendo. But honestly, I've had a lot of memories and a lot of good times with it. My favorite Nintendo console outside of the NES, bar none. That's because the NES, I have 635-ish games. The majority of them off camera over there. But with the Switch, I probably have about 130 physical Switch games. So definitely my favorite Nintendo console outside of the Switch. And I love Nintendo. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing what the next couple years entail for the Switch. Are we going to have another 4 years left of the Switch? Are we going to see an upgrade? I want that upgrade. Let me know your thoughts about the Nintendo Switch turning 4. Happy birthday, Nintendo. Thank you for all of your success. I'll see you guys on the next one.